Perhaps you may have sometime encountered a Kiki rider having a serious dispute with a smart, young-looking man while on your way, and the first thought that comes to your mind is money issues. Chook's case wasn't different here, and if you decide to stay a bit longer to see how the argument ended, you will find out that some nice people came around to intervene. But the lady here isn't just one nice person who wanted to help, but Chook's girlfriend, Basira. Chooks wasn't happy that Basira came to his aid because he was ever ready for the Kiki rider. Sometimes things like this happen out of frustration. Chooks is no longer happy with the way his life is tilting as a young, handsome, and educated man that he is. He was just coming from a job interview which didn't go well, and now he sees himself as a burden to his girlfriend. But one thing about Basira is that she is an optimistic, industrious lady with a positive spirit. She is the only hope that keeps Chooks alive and makes him happy whenever he is sad. Here comes F.A., Basira's friend and flatmate. F.A. has been listening to Basira's conversation on the phone with Chooks, where Basira promised to send him some money for his upkeep. This wasn't making sense to Ife because she sees Chooks as a lazy opportunist. Basira keeps telling Ife that she wouldn't understand the kind of love that she has for Chooks. Chooks can also be supportive in his girlfriend's business. Or could it be because her business is his source of survival? Basira is not always comfortable to see her man doing such work while she is around. It wasn't long when Ife complained about how Basira spends excessively on her boyfriend. This time, she came back to find them having fun in the bedroom. Chooks felt embarrassed to see her waiting and left at the very minute. What was amusing is that Basira told her that they only had 3 rounds of sex. Ife insisted that they could get a cheaper hotel when next they wanted to have their private time rather than messing up the bed that she also sleeps on. But trust the industrious Basira. She would rather use the money to make a pot of soup to make profit for her business rather than to spend it in a hotel. Chooks has become a jack of all trades, from applying for many job interviews to becoming a housing agent just to find his daily bread. But he recalled having a conversation with a friend about applying for a 5-year visa to the United States of America. He was told that it will cost him 5 million naira, which he reluctantly told his girlfriend. Basira has always had a positive attitude to everything that comes her way, especially challenges. She was already thinking of the possibilities of making the idea work. So she asked her boyfriend if he wanted to go. She then indirectly threw a question to him to know his plans for both of them when he gets the opportunity to leave the country. She may not be educated, but she was also not foolish. Basira had already initiated the idea to Ife, but Ife will always go against every idea that has to do with Chooks. Basira told Ife about their wedding plans once he came back from the States, but it sounded so funny to Ife. She then asked Ife if she can help her secure a loan in the company where she works, but the collateral they had could not secure such loan. Ife then advised her to sell her kidney to raise such an amount since she can give up her life for him. Basira went to the extent of asking her thrift collector about any possible means to get 5 million naira from the financial organization she works for, but her unprofessional response was beginning to upset Basira. Chooks came in to find out that she still had the intentions to get the visa that he had long forgotten about, but the optimistic lady always wants him to keep his hope alive and expect something better. Basira has been having sleepless nights about her boyfriend's visa, and she was about to make a drastic decision. Chooks received the greatest shock in his life when Basira gave him a check of 5 million naira. He swore to heaven and earth to come back for Basira once he achieved his purpose. Basira did not disclose to him how she got the money even when he asked her. She could only open up to Ife on how she got the money. She sold all her inheritance and business just to see this guy through, while she was left with nothing. Ife can't fathom what has really come over her, but Basira kept reminding her of what it means to be in love. Chooks finally got to the United States, and he still kept her hope alive with his promises. Basira was getting fed up with her lonely life without a job. She has a plan of starting over again by hawking food on the street, but she has to seek her friend's consent on a better idea. Ife had nothing else to tell her since it will bring food to the table. What else was Basira expecting her to say? She started her food peddling business again and made a great number of sales on the first day, which was encouraging. One day, Basira was having a video call with Chooks, and while they were having their usual conversation, she heard a lady's voice from the background calling him darling. She became so inquisitive to know what was going on. Chooks ended the call, and all effort to connect with him back proved abortive. It's 2 weeks now since she last heard from her lover, whose number hasn't been reachable. She wept bitterly because she was convinced about what she heard on the phone. The best Ify could do for her friend was to be there for her even when she failed to heed to her warnings about Chooks. Everything is beginning to take a new turn now, as Basira just survived an accident which was caused by Dennis while hawking her food. Dennis is a nice gentleman who made sure that she was okay. But Basira pounced on him for following her into the house to inflict more pains on her. She got furious at him and told him never to set his feet into her house any longer. Ify tried to calm her down, but she still insisted that he leaves and never come back. Dennis came a few days later to pay a visit to Basira to know how she was doing, but Basira was still angry at him about the condition she has been through just because of him. Dennis tried everything he could do to make her understand that it wasn't intentional, but Basira doesn't mind raising an alarm if he doesn't leave. I guess this has everything to do with Chooks, men, and their lies. Basira has a physiotherapy section scheduled for this day, but Ify already had an appointment with a client at her office, so she called Dennis to help take Basira to the hospital since she couldn't do it all alone. Although Basira was not happy with the plan, she had no choice. Dennis, being so kind, brought her back safely from the hospital. Basira now sees how kind this young man is. She tried to explain and apologize about her insolent attitude towards him. Dennis understood why she had every right to be angry after all he put her through. Now they are cool as friends, and Dennis helped her facilitate her healing process. I guess Basira was beginning to enjoy his companionship. Basira is now whole again, and to Ify's surprise, she never expected her recovery to be so fast, all thanks to Dennis. Now that Basira is back on her feet, what's next? Basira was thinking of going back to her peddling business, but Dennis brought a better idea to make her business easier. She could sell her food via delivery without going through much stress any longer. Although it sounded difficult to Basira's understanding, it worked with the help of Dennis by her side, and when she encountered difficult situations in her delivery business, Dennis was always there to help her. Now that things are going well, Dennis made Basira understand that to succeed in her delivery business, she has to dress the way she would like to be addressed, especially when she was embarrassed by one of her clients. Dennis likes Basira. He made advances to her several times, but Basira opened up to him that she was in a relationship with Chooks. She still thinks of Chooks every day and keeps trying to reach him with the hope that it will connect one day. With time, she somehow started getting attracted to Dennis, but she was scared about Dennis treating her the way Chooks did, and moreover, Dennis is way above her league. But Ify tried convincing her that Dennis is different, and since he hasn't made her feel less of herself, then she's sure about her accepting her proposal. She then summoned courage to let him know how she felt about him. Basira is in love again as life becomes sweeter again. But guess what? Chooks is back. He has just arrived from the States and wants to take his lover back with him. What a coincidence. Basira was mad at him for what he did to her until Chooks told her that he was in prison. Basira felt pity for all he had to say. Was he really telling the truth? Then what happens to Dennis? Basira is now in a perplexed state between two lovers, but she has to play along before she can figure out what to do. But I think she's into Dennis more. Everything is becoming suspicious to Chooks with her attitude. She has been avoiding him, and aside from that, she has missed 3 appointments with the embassy to get her visa in order for them to leave the country together. Chooks wanted to know what was happening. Basira shouldn't be doing this. She had to let him know that she wasn't interested in leaving the country with him. She used to love him. But what happened? Change happened. She's now in love with Dennis and feels more secure with him. Chooks had no choice than to leave back to the country. Before he left, he sent her a goodbye letter with the 5 million naira check that she gave him. Ife was totally wrong about this guy, and I hope Basira made the right decision. Basira is free now with her lover. She went to visit Dennis, but got a great shock. Dennis's ex-girlfriend Stella opened the door and warned her to stay clear of her man. Before then, Dennis lied to her that he was traveling for some days. This was a good reason for him to get some space, since his ex-girlfriend was coming around so that Basira wouldn't find out. Although it was a harmless intention, Dennis wanted to help his ex-girlfriend from a situation. Stella wanted to stay in his house for some days pending when she leaves, but it all went against him with her secret intentions. She drugged Dennis, then she texted Basira to come over to his house the following morning so she could carry out her plans. Dennis got a phone call from Ife yelling at him for betraying her trust and treating her friend as trash. Dennis got mad at Stella for what she had done and also found out that she lied all along about her health situation so that Dennis can accommodate her for the time being, not knowing that she had plans to ruin his relationship. Dennis sent Stella parking and had to find a way to make up for his lies and mistakes. Ife is his only hope to help him out. Dennis couldn't sleep, neither could he eat. Ife had to take her friend out to make this work. Basira was surprised about the special treat, but she wasn't also surprised to see them plan this event together. Dennis apologized about his dishonesty and lies he made out of the story, and she had to accept him back. I mean, she can't lose Chooks and Dennis again. Thanks for watching. Please comment your thoughts and also like and share this video for more super amazing videos that we are bringing to you. And if you're watching from our YouTube channel, you can also subscribe and turn on your notification for more. Thank you.